I've just moved to a new flat, a new space, and of course that means a new desk setup. In this one I'm going to walk you through my new setup, share some of the furniture that I'm using, and of course show you some of the tech that I'm using on the desk. If you are interested in winning an item from this video, I'm actually going to give something away. I'll obviously order you a new one, but all you need to do is be subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, and then comment down below which item from the video you would be interested in winning. Obviously within reason, please. I can't give away a brand new M1 MacBook Pro, but drop that comment down below. In about a month I will pick a winner. So starting off with the furniture in the setup. So this is an entirely new desk to the setup. For anyone that's previously seen one of my desk setup videos, I've gone with a relatively popular configuration. This is a combination between an IKEA Filament desktop, and this is actually a kitchen worktop that you can actually repurpose and use as a desktop, and it is sitting on two Alex shelving units from IKEA. I wanted to really maximize the space. We're in a slightly smaller flat than we previously were in, so I basically needed to make the space work as hard as possible, and the additional storage underneath the desk is like super useful. You can see how much drawer space there is in these IKEA Alex drawers. The desk is super nice and spacious. It's 180 centimeters wide, so quite a big desk, and the color that I've gone for here is the walnut. The only thing is with the desk surface is it's not like the nicest surface to actually like have a mouse or something like that on, so I actually use a desk pad, and this is the same one that I had in my previous setup. This is the Orbit Keys large leather desk pad, really big and spacious, so I can have my keyboard, my mouse on here, and you can still enjoy the sort of like lovely texture of the wood, but you're not having to actually use your mouse on it. Other furniture elements here, we have my desk chair. This is from a company in the UK called Habitat. It's like a kind of a fairly big furniture store that we have here. This is it's actually faux leather. It's a faux leather chair, but it like fits really nicely with the vibe of the desk setup, fits with the sort of walnut wood aesthetic that I've gone for here, and it's just a really nice desk chair. Like, I don't feel like it hurts my back after extended periods of time. Really enjoying this one. And then immediately to the left of the setup, ideally I would actually have a little bit extra space sort of in between this if I had the space in the room, but it's sort of having to sit relatively flush next to the desk. But this is also from Habitat, and this is a shelving unit. This is a really nice way to not only store your sort of cameras, accessories, things like that I have on this shelf, but also obviously display it because it like looks really nice, and it's just a really good way to maximize the space whilst looking nice and clean and aesthetic. And then the last thing, this is a Filament desk lamp. This is always really popular when I sort of mention it in my videos or I show it in my videos. This was handmade. It was actually bought for me as a gift, but you can buy them on websites like Etsy. You can find them on things like Amazon, but I'd recommend sort of going a slightly more handmade route for this. Moving on to some of the tech that's actually driving the desk setup here. The sort of brain of the entire setup, the computer that everything is connected to. This is the M1 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip. I've been using this computer since it came out. Absolutely love it. I've been toying with the idea of switching to a Mac Studio, but I haven't sort of crossed that bridge yet. For now, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is perfect. Most of the time, I do keep it just sat on the desk, and I'm actually using this sort of Arc stand for it. This is basically an entire copy of the 12 South, I think they're called the Book Arc. This one is a brand called Calibri, and I'll have it linked down below in the description. But I went for this crucially because of the wood aesthetic, so it just fits nicely, and it fits the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which I was sort of struggling to find with the 12 South version. So I'll have this link down below if you are interested. I absolutely love these stands. Like, it keeps the computer away from having to sit sort of flush or sit sort of just normally on the desk, which obviously frees up a lot of real estate. So I make videos and take photos for a living, so the screen is obviously really important that I use. This is a Samsung 34-inch ultra wide. It is not the highest quality to screen. I would like to sort of increase the quality of screen that I'm using, but for now I have no real complaints. It is 34-inch ultra wide, so it's great for things like video editing, but it is not curved. That's probably one of the only complaints I have about this screen, but it is fantastic fantastic value for money. You can pick this up around about the $350 mark. It's absolutely amazing for a screen like this. And something, if you take anything away from this video, is I would recommend you buy a monitor mount. You can see that the mount that I'm using here is mounting this entire 34-inch screen on this one single arm, and it just clears up basically everything on your desk. It makes your desk feel super sleek, and yeah, just releases so much real estate that you can use for other things. It just makes your whole desk feel much more sort of bright and airy than it would do otherwise if you had a big sort of monitor stand actually on the desk itself. The speakers are a new recent purchase. These are they're a speaker called, I'm going to read this off here, the Edifier R1280T is the model name. Sub $100 speakers. The main reason I got them is that apparently they sounded great, and I can attest to that now. I've actually used them, but of course also they fit in with the sort of wood vibe that I've gone for the desk setup, and that was one of the main reasons I actually went for the speakers themselves. Is they obviously needed to sound good, but I also wanted them to fit into the sort of aesthetic of the whole setup. Another thing which is always on the desk is actually this microphone that I'm using right now. This is the Samson Q9U, and it's one of the best actual microphone purchases I've made in quite some time. Again, for about roughly like $100 in terms of price, you have an XLR ready mic that can also be used on a desktop. So this is running via XLR straight into my Canon C70, which is like already a pretty major feature for a microphone. And then you can also run this directly straight from USB-C straight into my Mac and use it as a voiceover mic. Like a super versatile mic. It sounds great, and like I said, it is really affordable. Like one of the best purchases I've made in the last sort of 6 months. In terms of additional peripherals, something I'm using is the Satechi Mac wireless keyboard. This actually isn't perfect. I can't like entirely recommend this keyboard. It might be something to do with the fact that some of the first M1 Pro Macs had some Bluetooth issues, and I do have issues with this keyboard disconnecting sort of randomly. So I'm not totally sure whether that's the keyboard or actually my Mac, but I'm planning on replacing this with an Apple keyboard because Apple peripherals are of course unaffected, and that is also why I use a Mac Magic Mouse, because just like kind of my favorite mouse. Lots of people swear by the Logitech series, but for me, like the Magic Mouse does everything that I need it to. And finally, in terms of cable management, I'm using a lot of these sort of little cable tidies that just sort of sit around the desk. They're stuck on, and they sort of just run cables into them. It just means that I don't lose track of all the cables and they don't sort of fall down the back of the desk when I sort of disconnect the computer, which obviously it's a laptop I do from time to time. And that really wraps up the whole setup. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you would like to win an item from this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.